down into parts. Do you worry about Russia using Mike? I'm going to assume that you meant Russia using nukes and autocorrect corrected you. So no, I'm not, because first of all, Russia's nukes are A, ancient, B, haven't been maintained in a very, 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 very long time. And chances are that if they try to use their nukes, they're going to blow up in Russia before they're going to even not even reach their destination, but they can blow up literally at launch, which Russia is not going to risk, really, because that's a big risk to take, and they more than anyone else know that it's a risk that they're facing, because they know that their nukes haven't been maintained for this long. Hi everyone on YouTube, hi everyone on Twitch, hi everyone on Twitter, hi Veronica, hi everyone on TikTok. Okay, so now that YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter is live, I am going to start with saying that, to summarize, 215 guys and girls have been returned from Russian captivity. 5 of them are commanders, so higher chain of the military. 10 of them are foreign volunteers, and 200 of them are Ukrainian service members. Now, 108 of them are members of the Azov Regiment, and a lot of them include very, very notable faces that you have seen before. 55 Russian soldiers have been exchanged for 5 Ukrainian commanders. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Praxis. 200 Ukrainian soldiers have been exchanged for one man. That man is Viktor Medvedchuk. He is the leader of the opposition party for life that has been banned in Ukraine, and people were screaming that Zelensky banned his opposition. He did not ban opposition. He banned members of the far-right communist-related pro-Russian parties, and that particular man, Viktor Medvedchuk, Putin is the godfather to his kids. Let's start with that. He's in very close familiar relationships with Putin, and also he has been leaking information directly to Russia that aided the Russian invasion. That's why his party was banned. He was then found to be trying to cross the border wearing the Ukrainian army uniform. Obviously, he was detained. Obviously, he was imprisoned. Also, he had apparently told a lot of information on what was going on in Ukraine between 2014 and now, how he has aided all of the things related to Russia. And his wife is in Russia. She's the woman who was wearing a headscarf to appeal to the Turkish president and ask him to exchange her husband into Russia. So 200 men have been exchanged for one him. He is one of the most disgusting treasoners of Ukraine in the history of this invasion. And honestly, I think that we had just exchanged a, pardon my French, sack of shit for a pile of gold. The pile of gold being the Ukrainian soldiers. Hi, Jennifer, Juju, hi, Gap, and hi, want to see more. So that is that. The 5 commanders that have been returned, among them, very, very, very surprisingly, because I genuinely cannot believe that that exchange has happened. I genuinely cannot believe that some of the names on that list are the names that we see. But one of the men who has been returned among the commanders is Denis Prokopenko. Denis Prokopenko is the commander of the Azov Regiment, who heroically, along with his men, was defending Azovstal and Mariupol, besieged Azovstal and besieged Mariupol. Denis Prokopenko is someone that I did not expect to see exchanged until probably the end of the war. Another man is Serhiy Volinsky. and he is the commander of the 36th Separate Marine Brigade. So the brigade, a member of which was Aidan Aslin, which is another POW that we have heard a lot about. He's better known as Cossack Gundy. He is a Breton who has been serving with the Armed Forces of Ukraine since 2017. He's a full service member of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and he was a member of the 36th, well, he is a member of the 36th Marine Brigade. Now, we have seen a lot of videos of him from captivity where Russians kept calling him an Azov serviceman, where Russians kept making him sing the Russian anthem, where he was wearing Azov uniform that they had put him in, even though he had nothing to do with Azov. His commander, however, was in Azovstal, and he was defending the city shoulder to shoulder with the Prokopenko, right? So another notable person is called named Kalina, and he is the deputy commander of the Azov Regiment. Also, a very incredibly notable exchange. I honestly thought that so Julie says that she thought they were going to execute him. I did not think so, because that is way too big of a fish to fry, and that is way too big of a bargaining chip. So while they could have tortured him to the point of no return, while they could have done a lot of unspeakable things to him, I never thought they were going to execute him, because he's way too big of a bargaining chip. You can't, as in, hi, Saint Valen. Denis Prokopenko, Volina, Kalina, all of the commanders are way, way, way too valuable for Russians to just execute them, because Russians would lose a lot of right to negotiation had they done that. Also, it would be incredibly large international attention that will be brought to it, and I think that they fully understand that they can get away with a lot. They have been getting away with a lot, but that noose has been tightening, and had they tried to execute the Azov commander, they would have been in incredible trouble. Now the five commanders will be in Turkey under the protection of Erdogan himself, whatever that means, and they are going to be there until the end of the war. Those were the terms of the exchange, and there is nothing that we can do about it. So they're going to be there. They're going to be provided with quote unquote comfortable accommodations, and again, they're going to be protected. So those were the terms on which Russia let them go. I am assuming that Russia is probably incredibly scared of them coming back onto the battlefield, and incredibly scared of them aiding the defensive and the counteroffensive, because if they could hold besieged Azovstal for months and months on end, can you imagine the value they could bring to the battlefield today? Hi, Luann. Hi, Joe. Okay, 1 second. let me go over. So guys, let me go over everything that I know, and then I will be answering all of the questions, and then we'll chat a little more. I just want to get everything out of the way. Now, Denis Prokopenko's wife, Katerina Prokopenko, she is currently in Washington, D.C., along with other Azovstal wives, and also along with Wikipedia, who is an Azovstal serviceman, and he is a drone operator. So one of the interesting things is that they were in Washington advocating for the release of Azovstal prisoners, and as they were advocating, those prisoners, some of those prisoners have been released. So Wikipedia posted on his social media that he's really happy to see that, and he's really happy to see that their efforts have not gone into nowhere, that they might have helped and aided with this exchange a little bit, because they kept knocking on doors, they kept knocking on windows, they kept climbing into windows, they kept breaking doors in order to help facilitate that, right? Now, Katerina Prokopenko is in Washington, D.C. I fully expect her to jump on the first plane to Turkey in order to go and see her husband. He has been an advocate for Azovstal family. She has been avid advocate for Azovstal POWs. She has been living and breathing, trying to free her husband from Russian captivity. And honestly, their love story is incredibly amazing. Her efforts are incredibly amazing. She's such a strong, such a go-getting woman, and she is an inspiration to a lot of people. And I can't even imagine how overjoyed, how happy she is right now to hear that her husband's friends, her friends have been exchanged back. Hi, Peter. Also, hi, Don. Hi, Gabby. Thank you so much. Grumpy Heroyam Slava. So there have been multiple videos released so far of the prisoners of war that had been returned. So one of them is Mikhailo Denisov, and you might remember him from this picture. So I'm going to show you the picture first that a lot of people might have seen on the internet when he was in Azovstal, which this picture had gone viral. On multiple outlets, basically showing how unbreakable and how steel Azov are. And this is him today coming back home to Ukraine. Happy to know that our defenders are now going to be safe. So I wouldn't say that they were definitely safe. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much, James. You guys are so sweet. Thank you, Jilly. So this is the video shared by the Ukrainian ombudsman Dmytro Lyubinets, reportedly showing the defenders of Azovstal in Mariupol right after they were released from Russian captivity in a prisoner exchange on September 21st. They're saying, hi guys, hi dear. Thank you, Jason. Hi guys, hi dear. Glory to the heroes. Now, these are the photos from, so the commanders of the Azovstal defense, including Denis Prokopenko, the head of the Azov Regiment and then besieged Azovstal Steel Plant, his deputy Sviatoslav Palomar, and Marine Commander Serhiy Volinsky were among the 215 people released from Russian captivity in a massive prisoner exchange. The 5 top commanders were taken to Ankara in Turkey, where they spoke via teleconference with President Volodymyr Zelensky, which is also the address to the UN and his address to the guys I am going to play to you. I have not seen it translated yet anywhere, but I will pause it every once in a while and I will be translating it to you because I think it's important. Okay, so these are the first photos that were released from Denis Prokopenko and from the commanders, High Sky, talking to the president in an address to the president. These are some of the photos of them obviously calling their families and letting them know they are okay. Denis Prokopenko has said that their health is satisfactory and that everything is okay. In his address to the president, he said it simply, "Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for what you have done. Glory to Ukraine. Our health is okay. We are okay. Everything is satisfactory." Yeah, one of the things that I found out, which you will find out from the interview, but the soldiers in captivity call Ukraine the big land. So the Ukrainian defenders who have been captive in Russian captivities, when they are there, they keep calling, when they say that when they talk about the future, they say, when we come back to the big land, they call Ukraine the big land. And so I think that one of them kissing the ground is just sort of the reinforcement of the idea that this is the big land and this is his land, right? You will also hear Tork speaking in Ukraine and what he thinks about Ukraine, right? And what he considers home. And honestly, like, I was telling my mom, about his words, and she said, I genuinely have jitters from this. And so it's not going to come until, I think, the third or the fourth part of the interview, but I think that it's going to touch a lot of people. Well, Jason on TikTok says, what frustrates me is that what is upsetting, BBC talking about how Chechen soldiers with Russian army destroy Ukraine, but never a single word about those Chechens who left their very comfortable life in Europe and support Ukraine, and those Chechens who live in Ukraine who could have fled, chose to defend Ukraine. No word. Yes. So actually, this is a very, this is a very important distinction. So anytime we hear about the Chechen soldiers, we only hear about the Kadyrovites. So among Chechen people, as much as I understand, they do not consider Kadyrovites the real Chechens. The real Chechens have fled Chechnya. A lot of them, in very large numbers, have fled Chechnya after the Second Chechen War, when Akhmat Kadyrov, who is Ramzan Kadyrov's father, Ramzan Kadyrov is the disappointment that is the Chechen president and commander-in-chief right now, that TikTok troops general, that guy who is, just a disgusting gnome, really. But, if we're being politically correct, he's just a very awful dictator. So that guy, his father, basically betrayed Chechnya, not basically, quite literally betrayed Chechnya and gave it up to Russia. And the Chechen fighters who were fighting for independence in the First Chechen War and the Second Chechen War, who were giving their lives for their home and for the independence of their nation, they are the Chechens that are commonly referred to as the Chechens of Johar Dudayev. Johar Dudayev is the commander of the Chechen army who was trying to free Chechnya from Russia. And so actually the whole battalion of Johar Dudayev has been fighting in Ukraine on the side of Ukraine. And they have been, one of the things that Ukrainian soldiers very often say about the Johar Dudayev's Chechens and their army ethics and their knowledge and their skill is that they have never seen an army this synchronized and this cohesive as the battalion of Johar Dudayev. They are so fast in understanding each other. They're so fast in performing their duties and knowing what to do, and so fast in reacting, and so fast in sort of like in evolving, right? That they have been an incredibly effective army. And they're fighting the fight for Ukraine. And they said that one of the reasons why they feel like they want to join and they want to help us protect ourselves is because, well, they feel for it. They feel for the fight. They have been in this fight. They have been in this fight twice, and one of them betrayed them, right? And so they feel it to be something that deeply concerns them and something that they deeply feel for. And unfortunately, a lot of Chechens were not forced, but had to make the hard decision to leave their homeland, because their homeland now was occupied by Kadyrovites. And Kadyrovites are basically like this militia that kidnaps people and tortures people because of their beliefs. And because, I don't know, they didn't like something about them. Really, for any reason. They prosecute homosexuality, they prosecute everything. And that happens under the watch of the dictator Ramzan Kadyrov, who likes to wear female Prada boots for $1,000 to combat. So yeah, that is that on the Chechen troops in Ukraine. And I think the fact that we pay more attention to Kadyrovites than to the actual Chechens who are fighting for Ukraine and who are incredibly noble people, and is quite gross. That we pay more attention to Kadyrovites than we'd be paid to the real Chechens. Thank you. Okay, foreigners sentenced to death among those freed in Saudi brokered POW swap. 3 of the prisoners exchanged include Britons Sean Pinner and Aden Aslan and Moroccan citizen Sadoun Brahim, previously sentenced to death in a sham trial in Russian-occupied Donetsk. Thank you, Melissa. The prisoner exchange was brokered by Saudi Arabia, where the liberated POWs were delivered to on September 21st. Take a look. So, here we have Aden Aslan. So, one of the reasons I personally talked about Aden the most, Aden is a friend of a very close friend of mine, and Aden has been he's married to a Ukrainian woman. He has been trying to build a life in Ukraine. He has bought a house. He was preparing to fully move to Ukraine forever. He has been in the Ukrainian Armed Forces since 2017. He is a full-fledged Ukrainian Marine. He's not a foreign volunteer. And yeah, he is not a foreign volunteer. Orange shirt is Sean Pinner. Yeah. And when they said that he was a mercenary, it was incredibly disgusting, and it was an incredibly disgusting staging. And when they were making him sing the Russian anthem, it was an incredibly forced, disgusting act of just humiliation, right? Because they made him say that he regrets ever joining the Ukrainian armed forces, that he regrets ever being on the side of the Yazis. Obviously, you know, he had to do that for his survival, but the thing is, he's not a mercenary. He's not someone who came to Ukraine even to just be in the Foreign Legion, right? As in, like, he's not a volunteer who just saw Ukraine and wanted to help because he felt for it. He is a Ukrainian citizen, and he has been in the armed forces of Ukraine for as long as a lot of Ukrainian guys have, right? For some even longer. Okay, give me 1 second. My dog is going a little bit crazy. 1 second. Cindy, what are you doing? Sin, what are you doing? Why are you going crazy? Why are you going nuts? Where is your thing? Sin, come here. No. Come here, Cindy. Cindy. What now? What again? What is going on? Can we please not? Can we not? Thank you. Why are you literally eating your leg? That's weird, Cindy. Okay. So yes, so Aden basically has been in the armed forces of Ukraine for as long as a lot of Ukrainians, right? And his wife is Ukrainian, and he is, I'm sure, still incredibly excited to build a life in Ukraine. And I really, really hope that they are feeling at least relieved. And I really hope that their health evaluation is going to show that they're all fine, you know? Zelensky at the UN said a crime has been committed against Ukraine and we demand just punishment. President Volodymyr Zelensky told the United Nations General Assembly that a crime has been committed against Ukraine and we demand just punishment. Zelensky added that a special UN tribunal should be created to punish Russia. Hi, Stephen. It also should be deprived of its veto right in the UN Security Council. Zelensky on major prisoner exchange with Russia. We remember all our people and try to save every Ukrainian. This is the essence of Ukraine. Heroyam slava. This is the essence of Ukraine. This is what distinguishes us from the enemy. We value every life and we will do everything to save everyone who is in Russian captivity. 5 Ukrainian commanders released in a POW exchange. They will remain in Turkey until end of war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in his daily address that 5 Ukrainian commanders released as part of Russia-Ukraine prisoner of war exchange on September 21st will remain in Turkey in complete security, comfortable conditions, and under the protection of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan until the end of war. North Korea denies selling weapons or ammunition to Russia. U.S. official thanks Ukraine and Saudi Arabia for securing release of American POWs. Among those foreign volunteers were 2 Americans, nationals of Alabama. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan thanked Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and President's office head Andriy Yermak for securing the release of 2 U.S. citizens in a major prisoner exchange. Sullivan also thanked the Crown Prince of and the government of Saudi Arabia for mediating. One of the guys' names is Alexander, and the other one's name is Andy. I am going to tell you a little bit about everybody that has been released that we have seen so far. I'm going to show you their pictures, and I'm going to give you a little bit of their stories as far as I know them. Pro-Kremlin politician Viktor Medvedchuk handed over to Russia in exchange for 200 POWs. Ukraine's most high-profile pro-Kremlin politician and Putin's right-hand man in Ukraine, Viktor Medvedchuk, was part of a swap between Russia and Ukraine that took place on September 21st. Also, this is not on the exchange, but I love this. Trudeau says Putin's behavior only goes to show that his invasion is failing. Canada condemns Putin's irresponsible escalation of the war, his partial military mobilization, his nuclear threats, as well as Russia's rushed referendums to try and annex parts of Ukraine are unacceptable. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also said to reporters on September 21st in New York at the United Nations General Assembly, Reuters reports. Okay, so for now, let me show you the things that have been translated into English, and those that have not been, I will translate for you. So, here are some more photos of the generals exchanged. Hi, David. Heroically, Slava. These are some of the first photos of them. The video I've already showed you. So one of the prisoners of war that have been exchanged in this POW exchange is Dmytro Kozatsky under call name Orest. Dmytro Kozatsky is a Ukrainian photographer as well as the serviceman of the Azov Regiment. He was in Azovstal along with other Azov servicemen, and he is the guy who took a picture that won multiple international awards in category of war press and press in general. I am going to show you the picture in a little while, but for now, this is Dmytro, because you probably know the man behind the picture. You probably know the picture, but you don't know the man behind that picture. So this is Dmytro. This is Dmytro today, right there. And this is him today as well. And I am going to show you the photo that he took that all of us have seen over and over and over again because it has gone incredibly viral. That photo is, one second, because I posted so many tweets of so many guys being released that. So this is the photo that he took, and it has won awards on a lot of international photojournalism contests. Yes, a lot of them, most of them do look very, very skinny, but their health is okay. And I will say that Azov commander Denis Prokopenko said that their health is satisfactory. President Zelensky confirmed that the exchange was carried out for Viktor Medvedchuk, Putin's personal friend suspected of treason. We were ready to exchange him for at least one defender of the Azovstal plant, but it turned out that's how many people were returned, Zelensky said on the air of the United News telethon. This is the result of personal agreements between President Zelensky and President of Turkey, Erdogan, the office of the President of Ukraine, added. President Zelensky also said that 5 defenders of Mariupol would remain in Turkey until the end of war. Then here are Okay, here is, oh, wow. Okay, well, there is a very interesting video that is not about, you know what? It's about Mariupol, so I will show it to you guys at the end of this newscast. But for now, let's solely cover everything that had happened and all of the pictures that we have seen so far of the defenders. What is the noise? Where's the noise coming from? My dog. My dog is making noises, David. So this.
Слава Україні, пане президенте. У нас все добре, стан здоров'я задовільний.
Glory to Ukraine, Mr. President. Glory to the heroes, the president responds. Everything is okay. Our health is satisfactory.
Дякую вам і всій команді за те, що ви зробили.
Thank you.
Дякую тобі.
Thank you
Слава Україні,
and the whole team for everything that you have done. And Zelensky goes on to say, no, thank you. You guys have done everything. And now I think that you just need to rest and get better. Yes, they are back. This is the most, like, this has been the most incredible, the most unexpected news. Here are some more photos right after their release. State Department says on Twitch, the citizens of Russia are revolting against their president's decision on drafting them into the military. Yeah, I mean, as much as I feel bad for them for having a military draft, and as much as it's nice that they're protesting, it's a little too little and a little too late, because they have not been protesting against all of the atrocities that their army has committed. And as someone on Twitter said that I really see, as someone that I really someone on Twitter said that I really agree with. I wish Russia was as outraged about all of the crimes that they have committed in Ukraine as they are about the partial mobilization. Yeah, so it's not really anything. Oh my gosh! Another very big one confirmed. Do you remember Himik? Himik is the Azov soldier with lots of tattoos. This guy confirmed returned. Oh my gosh, this is actually new. This is incredibly new, and this is something I have not seen that I have not seen before. Ptashka, the Ukrainian medic. Well, let me show you who Himik is. He has been. Oh wow, this is news to me. Big news. Himik is the Azov style and Azov soldier that Russians were like using for all of their propaganda purposes, because he has a lot of tattoos, and well, he also was threatening Kadyrov, and he also has a tattoo that says "Death to You," and they called him a Satanist. Like they called him a Satan follower. They called him a lot of things, and you guys must have seen photos of him online before. This is the guy. He's heavily tattooed. They are obsessed with tattoos, and Torque in his interview is going to tell you a lot about that and a lot about why and how they're obsessed with tattoos. The head of the patrol police of Mariupol has also been exchanged in this POW exchange. Here is him before, and here is him today. let me show you. I want to show you all of the photos of all of the defenders that I personally have found. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to go through my Twitter and show you what I have posted. I just wanted to show you more videos because there have been a lot. And I'm looking at every news channel. And so I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. And I want to make sure that you see everything. The Mariana Mamonova, who is an 8-month pregnant POW who was a medic in Mariupol on the front lines, has also been released. Also, these are photos of our guys who have been returned back to Ukraine. Look at how many of them. Let me show you. These are also the first photos of the returned POWs back at home on the Ukrainian territory. I'm so tired of seeing Russians protesting and like people writing about it, like it's really not that big of a deal. So
дозвольте сказати, тут багато вже сказали. Я хочу подякувати також всім захисникам України, які прямо зараз, прямо в цей день, прямо в цю годину виконують свої бойові завдання на бойових постах, які воюють.
I just want to say, as a lot have said before, but I really want to, I saw the list, but I'm just trying to find photos and videos, as many as possible, and then I will go through the list. I just want to say, and I just want to thank you, as many have before, every single one of the defenders of Ukraine that are currently on the front lines, basically fulfilling their duty. And those who serve for our Ukraine, glory to Ukraine. And this is the first thing that a man who's come from captivity has said to the president of Ukraine, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's just a lot of different channels post different photos and different, different videos. So I want to make sure that I show you everything that's available online right now, because I want to be able to show you everything from the prisoner exchange. So these are the cars with the prisoners of war. These were the first videos of them just crossing into Ukrainian land, into the territory controlled by Ukraine, because they were on Ukrainian land, just occupied. Also, the funny thing is, the one thing that I saw from Russia, meanwhile in Russia, Russian protests, this man literally says that he is pro-mobilization and that he's going to go fight in Ukraine like a normal person does. This one? This lovely person over there? He is pro-mobilization. They're going to protect Russia. It says that he is dispatching tomorrow to Ukraine. He says he says he's dispatching to Ukraine tomorrow, and he's pro-mobilization, and he's actually yelling at the protesters, and he's like cursing them out and calling them derogatory slurs. 2 minutes later. They arrested him anyway. I mean, he wasn't arrested for being pro-mobilization. They just don't pick and choose. They just arrest literally anyone who comes on their way. This is so funny. I can't. Oh my gosh, stupid people. Oh my god. Too funny. Too funny. Let me see. So yes, Birdie, the Ukrainian medic, combat medic who was on the front lines in Mariupol as well, helping people, and you have seen her multiple times because she has been singing. She's the girl in all of the singing videos. Birdie is her call name. She is also back to Ukraine. Actually, Wikipedia has recorded a message to her and said, listen, I warned you not to get yourself in trouble, and you did. And he's like, and I know you're not going to listen to me again and get yourself in even more trouble, and you are going to go back and you are going to be an army medic again, but I will see you soon. And it was like the funniest little thing / threat, like a friendly threat, because he was like, I told you not to get yourself imprisoned. Why did you? And he was really worried about her apparently because, well, they have been trying to pose her as a sniper. Meanwhile, she is a medic. She's a combat medic. She's not a sniper. Okay, so here is Sean Pinner and Aiden Aslan. Here are the foreign POWs that have been, well, for now returned to Saudi. Okay, let me see. Let me see what's going on here. I just saw so many videos. I wanted to play you Volodymyr Zelensky's address. But also, I do want to show you. So this is occupied Mariupol through the eyes of the eyewitnesses, and I really want to show you this video because, you know, we are talking about. Would love to have. Oh, hi, on and off. I am incredibly happy that they get out of Russian captivity as well. You have no idea how happy I am. But I want to show you this. I want to show you this video because I think it's incredibly important and is Mariupol, the eyes of people who live in captivity there. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to set this up here. And for those of you who don't know, I also am streaming on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And there, these videos are full screen because, well, they can be. Okay. Hi, Polycount. Hi, Lemon. Brittany Griner is not something that Ukraine has prerogative over, so we wouldn't really know.
Валяется еще. Клавиатура висит. Очень интересно. Видимо, вылетело от волны. Вот вещи повыпадали, все вот валяется. Вообще дом разбитый. Кресло, стулья, все, что хочешь. Вот так вот, как в Припяти похоже. Вот так вот. Все брошено. Город развален, но тут вообще жесть. Вообще жесть тут вообще. Вот видно, гильзы еще валяются. Использованные чайники, вон всякие хлам, тумбочки.
So he is someone who lives in Mariupol, and he
Болгарки,
says that
сгоревшие ботинки,
this
не
looks
знаю,
like
тут, наверное,
Pripyat,
люди заживо
which is the
жили,
city where the
могли,
Chernobyl nuclear
все, что
catastrophe
угодно могло
happened.
быть. Тут он вообще обвалилось все. Там вот мы наблюдаем машины погоревшие, там вот раз, два, три штуки. Еще даже тут не убирали, завалы не расчищали, не знаю. Вот машина перевернута, заревшая, ну, вот так вот.
So these are basically the conditions in which also the Mariupol defenders, the Azovstal defenders were defending Mariupol, and this is what they were defending Mariupol from. And one of the things that actually I'm going to try and do very soon is I'm going to try and interview someone who lived in Mariupol in basements for months while it was besieged, and managed to survive and managed to get out of captivity. And I really hope to get an interview with her. I really hope to get an interview with her, and I really hope that she can give you a little bit of an insight on what it was like to be a civilian in Mariupol during the siege. It is nuts to see. It does look like Chernobyl. It does look like Pripyat. To be honest, Pripyat looks less damaged and less ruined and less leveled to the ground than Mariupol does. For contrast, I will show you Pripyat in a minute, but I also do want to address a comment here. It says, Polycount asks, do you think Russian protests going to get wild enough to make a difference? Here is the thing. I don't care. One of the things that I do want to say is that I don't give a single anymore about whether Russian protests are going to make a difference. I don't care whether Russians are going to do anything about their government. I frankly, legitimately do not give a single about what's going on with them in their country, what they think, what they do, where they go, what they believe. I don't ever want to hear about Russians again. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care what they're trying, right? It's like they have not done a single thing. See, before these protests, Russians were saying, we really, really want to help Ukraine, but we can't do anything because every time we protest, we get thrown into these cars and they take us to jail. And then, in jail, they torture us and they do all of these horrendous things to us. And we really, really, we really want to help Ukrainians, but we can't do anything. Trust me, they can't do anything. And then look at that. Don't you look at that? Won't you look at that? Russians are saying there are not enough people against the war and we can't come out in such small numbers because they're going to murder us. Yeah, well, won't you look at that? There were not that large of a numbers of protesters against the general mobilization, but yet, you know what? That was enough of a reason for them to get off their freaking couch and go do something. And won't you look at that? Turns out you can actually protest in Russia if your ass is on the line and you don't want to go get killed in Ukraine. Because your motivation is that you don't want to be mobilized into the Russian army. So here's the thing. I think after this, these protests against the general mobilization, one thing that I want to say is I wish that Russians were as outraged about the crimes that they have committed in Ukraine as they are about the general mobilization, okay? And I think that these protests, actually, like those protests against general mobilization, especially when these excuses for human beings came out and started chanting no to war, you're not chanting no to war, you're chanting no to mobilization, and please chant that. Don't chant no to war because you did not give a single about the war. I thought it was a freaking special operation in your mind. And I thought you couldn't do anything about it. So you know what? Put on your big boy pants. Do not be a fucking hypocrite. Get out there and chant no to mobilization. And after these protests, after they came out to protest against general mobilization, that is when the last that I could have given about Russians has absolutely vanished. And now I don't care. I don't care. Here's the thing. Brandy is asking, don't I think that it's going to help Ukraine? I don't. Because with that or without that, we're going to get them out of our country. We're going to push them out. And we have shown that we can push them out. And we have shown that we have been pushing them out. And we have been doing everything that we can do. And we will. They're going to be out of our land, and we're never going to hear ever anything from them ever again. And we don't want to. So whatever they do, what they protest against, whether they take down their dictator, whether they try to like make their future better, whether they wake up and understand what they have been doing to us, whether they admit that they have been complacent and then they can protest, they just don't care about Ukrainian deaths enough. You know what? I don't care. No, I don't care. They can rot in their Russia, and I don't ever want to hear about them again. I don't care. I don't care. Do we need any more of this concert? I think I have said everything I needed to say. I don't care. And I never will. To the end of my days, I do not ever want to hear anything ever again about Russia, about Russians, about what Russians are doing. So yeah. This is all I have to say about those protests in Russia. I don't care if they're effective enough. So, also, I'm gonna give you a phrase that I heard from one of the Russian protesters today that absolutely, told me everything I ever needed to know about Russians. This woman said, we have been feeding and growing our children, and now we have to send them to war so they die. And I'm like, so the fact that your children that you have been feeding and growing go to Ukraine and loot, sexually assault, torture, and kill civilians, it doesn't bother you at all. Like at all. Those kids that you fed and grown. Also, who the fuck says I fed and grown my kids? What is this, a flower in your garden? That is a human being that you took care of. Like, what? But anyways, hypothetically, let's say this is a normal thing to say about your child, that you fed and grown it. Кормили, растили. So you are okay with your child going to Ukraine and doing all of this stuff so long as they don't die. But now that they have started dying en masse, well, that is the issue. Like, I'm sorry, honeys, but there is literally nothing that will ever save you. You know, the fact that you are more concerned about your kid dying after, you know, the fact that you're not concerned about your kid raping, looting, and committing war crimes, but you are just, as long as he comes back alive. But the fact that you're just concerned about the fact that, you know, he dies after he has done that, that's very telling. Yes, you go protest. You go protest against that. You go protest against your serial killer kids dying. Yeah, you do that. That seems like a very reasonable thing to ask to be upset about. Very reasonable. Anyways, okay, so this is the Zelensky speech that I'm going to try and translate as we go. One sec. I am going to put this up on YouTube. And if you guys want to see it, it's going to be up on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Here you'll just hear it because I'm going to have to try and translate it as I go. So, but you know, you have his full face. Hi, Danon. Good morning to you, because I'm sure.
Ukraine.
Oh, one sec, sorry. Hi, David. I'm good. I'm currently doing a live stream because 215 Ukrainian prisoners of war have been returned today. I will call you afterwards, but you called me twice today. Everything okay? Okay, so call me after dinner. Okay, bye. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Ми повертаємо додому наших людей. Щойно завершився обмін.
We return our people home. The exchange has just concluded. Oh.
Сьогодні у нас 215 хороших новин. 215. Це однозначна перемога для нашої держави, для усього нашого суспільства.
We have 215 good news today. 215. And that is 215 victories for our country, for our people.
Головне для 215 родин, які
And most of all for 215 families
зможуть побачити своїх близьких в безпеці.
that are going to be able to see their loved ones safe.
Герой України Євгеній Бова. Герой України Лев Пашко.
The hero of Ukraine, Yevgeny Bova. The hero of Ukraine, Lev Pashko. If these are going to be just the names, then I'm going to leave him recounting them because they're going to be the same as I'm going to say them.
Герой України Денис Прокопенко. Загалом 108 бійців Азову, загалом 188 героїв Азовсталі і Маріуполя.
Also the hero of Ukraine, Denis Prokopenko. 108 warriors of Azov and 188 heroes of Azovstal and Mariupol.
8 поранені під час російського теракту в Оленівці. Загалом
8 injured during the Russian terrorist attack on Olenivka.
215 героїв. Це воїни Нацгвардії, нашої армії, військово-морських сил, прикордонники, поліцейські, тероборонівці, працівники Служби безпеки України та інші.
Altogether 215 heroes. Azov fighters, Ukrainian armed forces, National Guard of Ukraine, medics, National Police, and others.
Дмитро Козацький, знаменитий орест, фотограф з Азовсталі. Микола
Dmitro Kozatsky, the famous Orist, the photographer from Azovstal.
Кущ і Костянтин Нікітенко. Бойовики засудили їх на смертну кару. Катерина Поліщук.
Nikitenko and Kush, the two warriors from Azov who had been convicted to capital sentence.
Пташка. Яна Мамонова.
Polishchuk, the birdie, Tashka, Mariana Mamonova, the 8 months pregnant prisoner of war.
Валентина Зубко,
Валентина
Яна
Зубко,
Шумовецька,
Яна
Зоряна
Шумовецька,
Репецька, Анастасія
Зоряна
Черненко.
Репецька,
Ми
Анастасія
пам'ятаємо про
Черненко.
усіх наших людей і намагаємось
We
врятувати
remember all of
кожного
our
українця.
people, and we are trying to save every Ukrainian.
В цьому сенс України, наша сутність. Цим ми відрізняємось від ворога.
This is the whole meaning of Ukraine. This is our identity. This is what makes us different from the enemy.
Ми цінуємо кожне життя і обов'язково зробимо все, щоб врятувати усіх, хто перебуває в російському полоні.
We cherish every single life, and we are going to do everything we can to save everybody who is in Russian captivity.
Ця операція готувалась доволі довго, і в обміні є кілька складових. Перша складова – ми обміняли одного фаната Росії.
This operation has been planned for a really long time, and such operations have a couple of different things to them. Thing one is we have exchanged a Russian fan talking about Medvedchuk
На 200 воїнів.
for 200 warriors.
Спочатку нам пропонували повернути 50 наших людей в обмін на одного з тих, хто перебував в слідчому ізоляторі Служби безпеки України.
At first, we were offered 50 soldiers for one who has been in the incarceration of the security services of Ukraine, Medvedchuk.
Говорили, наполягали, число 50 зросло до 200.
We were talking, we were pressing, and the number 50 had grown to the number 200.
Вони вже в Україні. Я вважаю,
They are now in Ukraine.
це хороший результат, хоча навіть більше, ніж 200, бо серед звільнених українок є ті, хто готується стати мамою.
I think it's a great result, and actually, the number is more than 215 because out of the released Ukrainian women, there are those who are going to become mothers.
І я особливо щасливий, що вдалося зараз повернути їх в Україну.
And I am very grateful that we were able to return them back home to Ukraine.
Віддати Медведчука за справжніх воїнів шкода.
It's not a big deal to give up Medvedchuk for the real warriors.
Він пройшов всі слідчі дії, які передбачені законодавством. Україна отримала від нього все, що необхідно для встановлення правди в рамках кримінальних проваджень.
He has gone through all of the criminal procedures of Ukraine, and Ukraine has gotten everything that we have needed out of him.
Друга складова. Окрім 200 воїнів, ми повернули ще 5 бойових командирів.
The second part of this exchange is that outside of 200 warriors, we have also returned 5 commanders.
За яких довелось поборотись найбільше.
And we had to fight for them the hardest.
І найдовше,
And
найскладніше.
the longest.
Їм загрожувало найжорстокіше.
And they have been subject to the worst.
5 супергероїв. В обмін на них
5
ми віддали
superheroes.
55 тих, хто не заслуговує ані жалю, ані співчуття, ані
5 superheroes, and in exchange for them, we have given up 55 of those who do not deserve our compassion and who do not deserve pity.
взагалі будь-яких слів тих, хто воював проти України,
They do not deserve any words, those who have been fighting against Ukraine.
і тих, хто зрадив Україну, тих,
And those who committed treason and betrayed their country.
хто нам з вами точно не потрібен.
And we
Україна
definitely.
домовилась з Туреччиною. Я говорив про це з президентом Ердоганом.
Ukraine has made arrangements with Turkey. I have spoken to the President Erdogan myself.
Що 5 наших командирів, які звільняються з полону, перебуватимуть в повній безпеці, в комфортних умовах і під особистою протекцією президента Туреччини.
That 5 of our commanders that have been freed are going to be in Turkey in comfortable conditions under the personal protection of the President of Turkey
На час до кінця війни, але ми
until the war ends.
забезпечимо їхнім родинам можливість з ними бачитись.
But we're going to give their families ability to see them.
Сергій Волинський, Святослав Паламар,
Сергій Волинський, Волина, Святослав Паламар,
Денис Прокопенко,
Денис
Олег
Прокопенко,
Хоменко,
Олег Хоменко,
Денис Шлер.
Денис.
Ще раз дякую президенту Ердогану.
Thank you to President Erdogan for that.
І, звичайно,
One sec. Are you for Ukraine? Do you know what Ukraine did in 2014 to now? Yes, Ukraine has been fighting for its independence. And you know what you did? You have been a stupid troll since then till now. And guess who? Guess who is the losing party here? You are. And I'm Ukrainian. I know what my country has been doing, fighting for its survival. Now please delete yourself before my moderators do, and they really like eating people like you for dinner.
ми допомогли нашим друзям. Це питання честі для України, питання нашої вдячності за допомогу нашій державі. Нам вдалося.
We have helped our friends, and this is a question of our gratitude, and this is a question of sorry, I missed it a little bit. Sorry.
За допомогу нашій державі нам вдалося звільнити 10 іноземних громадян, які перебували.
We have also been able to free 10 foreign volunteers that have been in Russian captivity.
В російському полоні. Свого часу ми обговорювали це з Борисом Джонсоном. Він звертався по сприяння.
At some point, me and Boris Johnson have been talking about it, and he has been asking us to help influence this exchange.
З американськими друзями. Тепер
Also with
додому
American
повернуться 5 громадян Великої Британії,
But now 5 Britons are going to come back home.
2 громадянина Сполучених Штатів Америки,
2 Americans,
1 громадянин Марокко і
1
громадянин
Moroccan,
Швеції, 1
1 Swede.
громадянин Хорватії.
And
Ворог
one
призначив їм
Croatian.
вирок.
Our enemy has convicted them to capital punishment.
Довгий термін ув'язнення чи смертну кару. Ми врятували їм життя.
We were able to save their lives.
Всі вони повернуться додому з посередництва Саудівської Аравії.
All of them are going to come back home thanks to the cooperation from Saudi Arabia.
Щиро вдячний за допомогу усім, хто долучився. І
And I'm incredibly happy to everybody who was able to influence this exchange.
хочу назвати тих людей, завдяки кому ми маємо сьогодні ці 215 хороших новин.
I want to name those people thanks to whom we have those 215 incredible news updates today.
З українського боку питанням звільнення займається достатньо потужна група. Нею
From the side of Ukraine, the matter of freeing of prisoners of war is being done by a very, very, very strong group of people
керують 4.
in the head with 4 people.
Керівник офісу Єрмак, керівник
Андрій Yermak,
нашої розвідки Буданов,
Budanov,
голова Служби безпеки Малюк і Рустем Умеров.
and
А також
Rustem Umerov.
дякую їх команді Дмитру
And
Усову,
their teams, Dmytro Usov,
омбудсмену Лубінцю,
Lubintsyu.
міністру Монастирському. Дякую вам, хлопці, за цей український
Thank you, boys,
успіх.
for this
Вже завтра
Ukrainian
представимо
success.
і деяких інших учасників нашої групи, яка працює заради порятунку наших людей з полону.
And tomorrow we're going to introduce more members of our group that helps facilitate prisoner of war exchanges.
Представимо також більше деталей цього обміну.
We're also going to give you more details about this exchange.
Дочекайтесь, будь ласка, відповідного брифінгу. Ще раз дякую
Please wait for the briefing on the matter.
усім, хто реалізував цю перемогу для України. Вітаю
Again, thank you to everyone who has been able to help Ukraine acquire this victory.
всіх наших захисників, наших захисниць,
Thank you to all of our defenders, men and women,
які повертаються додому. Пам'ятаємо про кожного
that are coming back home, and let's remember
і
everyone.
кожну. Слава Україні!
And let's remember everyone that is still there. Glory to Ukraine.
Українці!
So that was Zelensky's speech tonight. I'm sorry that it was that I had to stop it so many times, but I figured it'd be much easier for me to just translate it one by one. rather than translating it in large chunks because, you know, I could be forgetting and missing out on some important information. I just wanted to translate it as like as word for word as I could. So that is what I have for today about all of the defenders of that have been returned. I do want to show you another one, which is okay. First of all, I need to add two to the list, and before that, I'm going to show you all of the names that I have found so far, along with pictures. Redis Prokopenko, commander of Azov Regiment, defender of Azovstal. Confirmed, exchanged. Serhiy Volina-Volinsky, commander of the 36th Separate Marine Brigade, defender of Azovstal. Confirmed, exchanged. Sviatoslav Kalina-Palomar, deputy commander of the Azov Regiment, defender of Azovstal. Confirmed, exchanged. Mariana Mamonova, combat medic, defender of Mariupol, 8 months pregnant. Dmytro Kozatsky, senior soldier of the Azov Regiment, renowned photographer, defender of Azovstal. Confirmed, exchanged. Katerina Tashka Birdie Polishchuk, combat medic, defender of Mariupol. Confirmed, exchanged. Mikhailo Dianov, senior sergeant of the Marines, defender of Azovstal. Confirmed, exchanged. This isn't it. This isn't it, boys and girls. Ilya Samoylenko, intelligence officer of the Azov Regiment, defender of Azovstal. Confirmed, exchanged. Ilya Samoylenko has fought for the protection of Ukraine since the beginning of the Russian invasion. He has lost his arm and has lost his eye in earlier in the fight for freedom. And with the full-scale invasion, he has, well, even before, he has come back and decided to serve Ukraine on the front lines again. Konstantin Fox Nikitenko, soldier of the Azov Regiment, defender of Azovstal. Confirmed, exchanged. Mykola Frost Kush, soldier of Azov Regiment, defender of Azovstal. Confirmed, exchanged. This is the guy that was very often confused with Denis Redis in the beginning, but they're two different people. Okay, I'm going to post a couple more names on Twitter, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, what are you doing? Why are you not following me on Twitter? Post so much good info on Twitter. Follow me. But I'm kidding. But if you do want to have some information behind the scenes when I'm not streaming, please make sure to follow me on Twitter because I do bring about a lot of info there. So do let me know, and I shall be seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you for participating in this stream. Thank you for watching. I am really happy to let you know that this is what had happened today. This is all information that we have right now about all of our defenders, and I will be posting more photos and more names to my Twitter so you guys can see more personally who the exchanged people are. All right. Bye, guys. By Twitch, by Twitter, and by YouTube, and by TikTok.